Welcome to a Community Partners interview, where we explore the organizations, opportunities, and resources that look to make change in our daily lives. I'm your host, Nafisah Anif, and you're listening to Voices for Ability Radio, all abilities, all the time. Today, I'm joined by Leslie Yee, the first Vice President for the Canadian Council of the Blind National Office. The Canadian Council of the Blind, also known as CCB, is a nonprofit organization bringing together Canadians who are blind, deafblind, or living with vision loss through local community CCB chapters. Since 1994, they have worked to improve the quality of life for persons with vision loss through awareness, peer mentoring, socialization, sports, advocacy, health promotion, and illness prevention. CCB's community-based model offers programs to assist those living with vision loss and create awareness of vision issues to the public and government. Their chapters are located throughout Canada, and each chapter's members participate as volunteers in various peer support, sports and recreation, book clubs, and educational activities. Local chapters manage affairs to align with the objectives promoted by the National Canadian Council of the Blind. As the largest membership-based organization of the blind in Canada, they are proud to be known as the voice of the blind. Thank you so much for joining us today, Leslie.
Thank you for having me. Very glad to be here.
Thank you. Tell us a little more about you and what inspired you to work at CCB and why work with individuals with disabilities.
Oh, what a great question. So I need to tell you a little bit, a little bit about myself. So I was born with uncorrectable vision on my left eye, but had decent vision in my right eye growing up. So quite honestly, I never felt like I was part of or needed to be part of the vision loss community. And it wasn't until I was 48 when I lost a majority of my vision in my good eye as well and became legally blind. And it was at that point that I started reaching out for services. I worked at the time, so I needed to find what can I do to keep my job or what do I need to do to get to work, all that sort of stuff. So in part of that outreach, I had discovered some, organizations that could help me in the interim. And after a few years, I got introduced from a friend to Canadian Council of the Blind. And I live in Peterborough, Ontario. And at the time here in Peterborough, we did not have a chapter. And my friend, who is also blind, he really wanted to have a chapter here in Peterborough. So the two of us with two other volunteers set up a chapter here in Peterborough. And it's been growing ever since, and it's doing really well. So it was that introduction to the chapter that I found out what CCB was all about. And I think what I like the most about CCB is it is the voice of the blind. 100% of our board members are all from the blind or low vision community. We do have our sighted employees as well as vision loss employees. So in our office, because no matter what, we always need our sighted volunteers and sighted people to help us with certain things. But within CCB, it is really well organized and run by people with vision loss. And I think that's what I really, really like about CCB is it allows us to have the voices. Within the chapters, for example, the chapters are completely run by the members of the community, so they can decide what they want to do with their fundraising or how they want to spend the money, what activities they want to go on, what types of games they wish to play. Whatever it is they want to do, they can decide for themselves. And it really does help create confidence and independence and empowerment as well, knowing that you're responsible for your chapter and you're responsible for the things that you do. That's probably what I like the most about the chapter perspective within CCB.
That's an amazing story. Thank you for sharing that. And when doing my research, I saw on your website that you have a couple of programs. Can you tell us about some of the programs that you have?
Yeah, we have our Get Together with Technology program through our national office. And what's really great about it, it is run by people with vision loss. And the whole purpose of Get Together with Technology is teaching anyone within the community how to use devices. And they can do it in group chats. They hold monthly group sessions, whether it's learning Mac for the first time or working on your cell phone. And they have beginner through to advanced kind of group chats. And they also do one-on-one sessions with people who just need that kind of attention or need that extra half an hour to really work through something that they're struggling with in technology. So our Get Together with Technology program, it runs across Canada through the national office. We also have people in the East Coast running an Atlantic Get Together with Technology, and we have Northern Ontario group as well running one there in BC. So it's really good. People can focus into any of the chats. They just don't have to do their local area. It's also a great way for people to speak to other people using these devices, even not just the people running the GTT chats themselves, but you can speak to other folks. So it's a really wonderful program that we have through them. Another program that we have is our mobile eye clinic, which is something that CCB National has been running for many, many years. And right now it's in not in hiatus, but it is out and about and offers early screening for children, for example. It can go to schools and it brings in the children and as well as families into allowing them to get some eye care that they might not be able to afford to go to themselves. It also does concentrate on education pieces around eye health and good eye care as well. So those are two really excellent services that CCB National offers.
Wow, that's incredible. And I noticed that you have some publications. Can you tell us what some of the publications on the website are about?
Yeah, so we have our Visions newsletters, and they go out monthly to all of our chapters, but it goes to actually directly to every single member within CCB. And the Visions newsletter is really designed to share information about the membership itself. It shares stories, it shares insights, it talks about GTT has a section on tips and tricks that they put in there for using devices. It updates people on successes that are happening within the chapters as well. And any advocacy that anybody has done or is looking at doing, they'll share those stories as well. So it's really a great monthly publication that goes across Canada, of course, and allows people to really know what's happening a little bit more from coast to coast within the chapters. That does come out digitally as well as there are large print hard copies offered as well to each chapter for those that wish to physically read some paper. We also do our White Cane magazine. We have 2 a year that we produce. We just had one produced in May, and the second magazine generally comes out in October. And these magazines are more for public awareness. So, and they also are magazines that are sponsored. So we do have a lot of sponsorship advertisement within them, but they're all focused around eye health and eye care, the importance of that and the advocacy around the eye health and eye care as well. Within the magazine, we do share stories from some of our members, success stories, as well, just different things that generally our sponsors and people that donate to CCB would be interested in. So that is a wonderful magazine that comes out twice a year, both digitally and in print as well.
That's wonderful. And when I was looking underneath your local chapters, I saw something called national chapters. And underneath that, I saw the CCB Blind Golf Canada chapter and the CCB Mysteries chapter. Can you tell us a little bit about those?
Mm. Well, each chapter has their own ability to name themselves. and they can concentrate on certain things. So the chapters, we have curling chapters, for example, and goalball chapters. So each chapter can specifically become a chapter for a certain reason. And all of their fundraising that they do, for example, would go towards that sport or that event. We also have, for example, a hobbies and crafts chapter out in the East Coast. So they just really work on teaching their members how to do crafts or creating something new and sharing that information with each other. So that's the beauty of the chapters, is because they are run by people with disabilities and within their own community, they get to do the things that they'd like to do and express that through their chapter, fundraise for those items. And the great thing is when they're fundraising for their own chapter, 100% of the funds stay with that chapter. They're not obligated to send any funds to the national office or anything like that. And yet they can get different types of support from CCB in the process of their fundraising, but they get to keep 100% of the funds. So it's really a good way to encourage the chapters to fundraise for themselves, as well as be specific if they'd like on certain areas that they're interested in.
Okay, thank you. And can you tell us a little bit more about the bursaries you offer?
So we have, in the past, we've offered bursaries for the youth. I apologize. I don't know too much about the past bursaries. But on different occasions, we've offered different bursaries around education. Often it's writing an article or something in journalism. So we'll offer bursaries for people submitting articles or submitting a journal or something that can be quite specific. So those are fun and a way to encourage people to continue writing or to learn Braille or to write a piece in Braille or whatever the specifications are. It's just a way to encourage that within the community.
Okay. And are there any restrictions to the services provided, like age, caregivers, family members, things of that nature?
Well, not at all. On a chapter level, you always have sighted volunteers to help you, and they could be family members, they could be caregivers, they could be just people within the community themselves that wish to join that chapter and help them in any which way they can. So no, there's absolutely no restriction on that part. I think the only restriction would be, if children wanted to be involved. Of course, you always have to do police checks and things like that if you're involving children. But around otherwise, other than that, then no, there's not really any restrictions.
Okay, perfect. And without sharing any names, can you share a success story with me? Like what supports were put into place when someone asked for help?
Well, if you don't mind, I'd like to share a success story from my own chapter.
Oh, please, that's the best one of all.
Okay, that's great. So, quite a few years ago, when our chapter is just going on 10 years old itself, and probably about 3 or 4 years into the first 3 or 4 years of our chapter, we had quite a few members who were fairly new to vision loss. And some of the members were very grateful for any type of assistance that they got in learning devices. But one thing was really realized was the cost of many and most of our devices for vision loss, whether they're CCTVs or handheld magnifiers, they're so expensive. And there's not an assistive devices program across Canada. So many people were not able to even get a magnifier. They just can't afford it to help them. And we all know in the vision loss community, our assistive devices help keep us independent and confident in the things that we do. And it allows us to read our own mail, to understand our surroundings, or by using GPS, right, guide us through the city. So we all use our technology. But we realized that there was a lot of people who couldn't afford it, and even within our own chapter, within our own city and surrounding area. And many of us had devices that we couldn't use anymore because we either outgrew them or we got another device. And what do you do that with them? So we opened up a lending library of visual aids in our Peterborough chapter, and we get visual aids that are donated to us. We make sure they work well. We make sure that they have the batteries and cords that they need, and we will redistribute them to anybody that can use them. And you don't have to be a part of the chapter. It's anybody in the community. Because what we found over the years is many seniors that are losing their vision, they have no idea of what's available to them. They don't know about, electronic magnifiers or CCTVs or daisy readers for continuing to listen to books. So we've gone out into the public. We advertise that we have this. We try to demonstrate and share wherever we can about devices. And then anybody that can use them, they will be able to take them home, use them for as long as they want. They don't have to return them. The only thing we asked is when they're finished with the product or they want to try something new, to just return it back to the library. And as long as it's working well, we'll make sure it goes to another good home. So it's really helped with the whole green philosophy of reusing and redistributing items that we know don't break down too often, and they don't wear out. And so we're reusing them and we're giving them to good homes and really helping people understand that by using the different technologies, they can either stay self-sufficient in their own home. They don't have to try to find resources. It prevents them from being shut in because they're scared to leave their home because they can't safely walk their neighborhood. So it helps to open and expand a lot of people, especially those that are just learning how to use these devices, and they're just experiencing vision loss for the first time. So it can be a little bit of a great eye opener for them. So I would say that's a really good success story, and it's something that I hope grows across Canada. I hope other places are able to do something similar where you just need a place where that you I will say we need wonderful volunteers around us for this, because we need people who know technology a little bit, who can test the products, make sure they're working well. But if you can get a group of volunteers to help you with that, it's a great service. It's a great way to get our devices back out to people who need them.
I love that opportunity so much. It's definitely needed all across the country, and especially within Ontario. Having the assistive devices program is great, but when you, as the individual needing that technology, when you're not able to cover that 25%, and the only way to have that covered is basically being on Ontario Works, so ODSP. Well, if you're not, you're kind of up the creek without a paddle because
Yeah. And sometimes too, you're just waiting a long time, right? By the time you go through the process. Yeah. So the lending library can offer them, it might not be the exact device they want, but it's something similar that they can use temporarily. Or I don't know about you, but I have purchased myself devices in the past only to find out it really wasn't what I wanted or needed.
oh, I've done that. I have a braille display right now, which is just a gigantic paperweight because I've already sent it to be repaired and I do not want to send it again to be repaired. So it's just sitting here.
Exactly, exactly. So a lot of it's a great way to say, hey, you if you're looking for somebody who's looking for a braille display for the first time, it's a great way for them to try one and before they invest in one, right? And or any device and just say, yeah, it is something I will use, or you know what, it's not really what I was thinking of. And it gives them an opportunity to try something else. So yeah. Great service.
For sure. For sure. Yeah, it sure is. Now, what is the one thing that you see happening over and over again to individuals with disabilities that shouldn't be happening? And how do we stop it?
Oh my goodness. I would say inclusion and being part of the talks. It doesn't matter what government level or whether it's local, provincial, or federal. When there's policies being written about us, when there's regulations, when there's talk somewhere about the disability community, we're often not invited in those talks at the beginning. We're brought in later on. They will decide what might work for us, put together a policy, and then bring you in and say, what do you think? Rather than just including us in at the beginning. So I think being involved in all conversation through all levels of government is so important. And having us involved in making those decisions with them, right? Like we know what's best for us. And it doesn't matter what disability you have, right? We know what's best for us. And we often have the solutions. And if we don't have the solutions, we have the reasons for a solution. And that can lead to a good solution in the end. But we know why we need change. We know why something doesn't work. And they need to talk to people with disabilities about that at the beginning of every conversation.
I agree. There definitely needs to be a philosophy of, nothing about us without us. Yeah, for sure.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. And that's even changing now to just nothing without us, right? And in the hopes that it's nothing without us, which means include us at the very, very beginning. Don't talk about us and then include us. Just bring us in, right?
Exactly. And that's how it should be. You know, you really cannot reinforce the foundation after the fact. You kind of have to do it before you start building on top of it.
Absolutely. It's like when you build a building and you don't include ramps, and then later you have to retrofit those ramps in. It's so much more cost to do that as opposed to doing properly from the beginning. So it doesn't matter what we're talking about. It's always easier to take the time to do it from the beginning, right? Yeah.
Exactly. Definitely. So, are there any events coming up for CCB?
Twice a year we do our large conferences. We just had one in May, our CCB conference in Ottawa, and we'll have another one coming up in October. So I'll just have to say about that though that to wait for the details for our October conference. We're just in the works of planning that right now, but those would be the two large events that CCB National does. Another event we do every year, though, is our White Cane Week, which is the first full week in February. It's a celebration across Canada, celebrated by everyone within the chapters themselves, as well as on a national level. We promote White Cane Week as well. And it's a week to promote awareness around people with vision loss, the use of our canes, why we use our canes, and different areas like that. We often bring in and also have people talking about guide dogs and just creating a good public awareness all around everything with vision loss. So the White Cane Week is the first full week in February. So that'll happen again in this coming February 2026.
Oh, wow. Looking forward to it.
Yes, it's often a fun week with different things happening across Canada. So even locally in your own city, there would be different things being done by the local chapters.
Perfect. So, what is the process for becoming a member, and what is the process for becoming a volunteer with CCB?
Oh, that's a wonderful question. So to become a member, you can do two ways. So you can join a chapter and become a member through the chapter itself, or you can be an independent member. So you could live in a city that does not have a chapter, or if the chapter is just too far away for you to get to, you can become an independent member. And to become an independent member, you just go to our website, which is www.ccbnational.net. And within our website, you can just sign up to be a member. And whether you go through a chapter or you go directly through our website, it's $10 a year to be a member. And that $10, it gives you lots of information from national as well as voting rights for the board and other things within the national entity itself.
Perfect. And if listeners are looking for more information, how can they reach out to you?
We have a CCB at ccbnational.net that goes directly to our main office. And you could be redirected to anyone if you have specific questions or need to know how to get to the GTT folks, things like that. So I would recommend just going there first. So CCB at ccbnational.net. Please go on our website and check it out. It has a lot of links and areas and talks a lot about what CCB does across Canada. And we also have a toll-free phone number, 1-877-304-0968. And that also goes directly to the national office, and they'd be happy to give you the information you need or redirect you to somebody who can.
That's perfect.
Mhm.
Well, Leslie, we are out of time.
That was fast.
Yeah, it was. This concludes another Community Partners interview. I'm your host, Nafisah Anif. Let's share, let's care, because we've all been there.